in the raw. RK is Guyana Free Media, and I'm your friend, your brother, Haji, Dr. Roshan can. In the raw. A beautiful day. Look at that. Only in Guyana. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. So beautiful in our beautiful Guyana. Awesome, amazing, and totally fresh. And I have in me the newspaper of Saturday, March 23rd, 2024. In this article, Guyana Chronicle, by a presentation by PPP General Secretary Dr. Jagdeo. And its wishy-washy statements are not policy. Former President and Excellency Jagdeo indicates. Dr. Jagdeo says, underscores PNCR lack of strategies and experience. While blasting the opposition for their wishy-washy statements, they disguise as policies, People's Progressive Party General Secretary stated that in order to have a policy debate, one first needs to have strategies along with the experience. I myself have observed releases coming out of the PNCR. You don't see anything much from AFC because he is a kowtow, that is Ramjatan boy, to thinking here. Aubrey Norton. He's a kowtow kind of boy to Aubrey Norton, his true boss. And maybe his boss in the new election coming up, because he doesn't have the guts to run an election as he wants appointment and position. Now, anything that Norton puts out is always so puerile or totally childish, immature, amateurish, I would say. And so everything he says is so petty and indeed childish. Nothing of an intellectual conflict. And I'm not speaking in any way politically minded in here. I need an opposition that has some power. I need an opposition that has some guts. When I say guts with intellect, to win my attention, to get me to want to listen to him. As Aubrey Norton, as one writer puts it recently, is like a big man, a little man who wants to play big. There was an article in Kaichor News, I think, recently. A little guy who is not yet a man but wants to play big and behave, and he has a tendency of, puffing his mouth up. When he will grow up, till today, he refused. He lost the election. They lost the election, but refuses to shake the hand of the president and become himself a pariah, a mocking stock, even amongst his own people. All right? Now, so he's the opposition leader, Jagdeo, is blasting the opposition and the leader, of course, for inadequacies, pettiness, childishness. At the time, the PPP General Secretary was responding to opposition leader Aubrey Norton, who said that he has not replied to the PPP invitation to have a policy debate. He didn't reply because he can't have a policy debate. They believe when they put an article out or a press release, that's a policy debate. He can't handle it. They don't have a policy. So former President Jagdeo and now Vice President is challenging him, come let's have a debate. And if he can't do it, find somebody else who could do it. Despite the attempts by Norton to flex his proverbial muscles by stating that the opposition has a development plan, Dr. Jagdeo, during the weekly press conference, spared no effort to prove that apart from their rhetoric, these opposition operatives lack policy-making experience, and he's absolutely on ball there. The opposition leader, former president, for what, 13 years, and 5 years in the opposition, and now vice president. He knows what he's talking, and he knows why he's challenging them. He would not challenge a man to a debate if he knew he would lose. Now, to have a policy debate, you have to have a policy. That is what Bharat Jagdeo is saying. And they, the PNCR, don't have policies on any of these issues. You think the wishy-washy kind of statements by Norton can translate into policies? The PPP General Secretary firmly asked. Dr. Jagdeo then went on to say, if you want to stretch your imagination to the limit, you can't in any fashion characterize a ranting and nonsense that speaks as policies. He's referring to what Norton does is like a rant, you know, and go boo, and so on. And as he tries, as the other writer says, trying to be a man while he's still a little boy in behavior. The PPP General Secretary also highlighted that some of the opposition members present at their press conferences never even held senior positions in government, but were juniors. So how can they make proper commentary? And the reason is, Norton eliminated the then General Secretary, the powerhouse, the wisdom, the mind of the party, Amna Ali. Moreover, Dr. Jagdeo pointed out that his party has its policies outlined in several documents, such as the National Development Strategy. So Norton, grow up, boy, wake up a little bit, win our respects, and let's see what could happen. In 1993, the then President, Dr. Chedi Jagan, approached the Carter Center seeking assistance to the formulation of his brainchild, the NDS. The Carter Center agreed to provide both financial and technical assistance in the preparation of the first draft, which was published in 1996. Notably, the main opposition party objected to the document being put forward as a national strategy. The NDS was developed to eliminate poverty, diversify the economy, bring forth economic growth, achieve geographical unity, etc., etc. That's what Jagan wanted, and asked the Carter Center for some help. And then under the caption here now of winging it, winging, W-I-N-G-I-N-G, turning his attention to the opposition failure to carry out its promise, Dr. Jagdeo said, who would believe anything that APNU promises now? You recall they promised a lot, and they fulfilled nothing. But it is alleged that the boys were filling themselves, and a big boss in the Ministry of the Presidency wanted to mate with all the pretty young ladies, especially of one ethnic group, and was doing all kinds of things to damage and destroy other people, and was also involved in making friends with certain top Indian businessmen, and it is alleged that he was getting his cut. Reflecting on the APNU AFC 2015 manifesto, which including a number of promises, the PPP General Secretary highlighted that barely any were fulfilled within their 5-year stint in office, because they were more concerned with trying to sign the oil and gas, which they give away. The APNU AFC gave away our oil and gas because they wanted the money, Ramjatan said, because they wanted the money to play with, to use, maybe also, I don't know, to, as is alleged, to, for themselves. But Ramjatan said they wanted the money I am surmising that they wanted the money for the political campaign. To put things into perspective, on the subject of job creation, in 2017, the former APNU AFC coalition government had announced the closure of several sugar estates across the country, leaving thousands of persons without jobs or resources of income. And the move saw 4 sugar estates being closed and over 7,000 sugar workers losing their jobs. But in reality, over 30, maybe 32,000 people losing their jobs because of the impact in the communities of the sugar estates. The stores, the shops, the businesses, and the economies in these areas declined, and of course, in strength, the economy of the entire country. However, with Guyana's economy back on its feet and citizens being able to embrace its abundant benefits, since assuming office in 2020, more than 50,000 people have become employed under the PPPC. I do recall, I never read their manifesto. I'm not a manifesto reader. But I recall it being said, they made a pledge that they will have 50,000 new employees. However, with Guyana's economy back on its feet and citizens being able to embrace its abundant benefits, since assuming office, 50,000 persons have become employed under the PPPC government, and I repeat, for emphasis. Additionally, since the PPPC assumed office, tax reforms have formed part of the government's wider agenda to improve the quality of life in Guyana and address immediate economic changes that affect Guyanese. These include the removal of VAT from water. They had it, PPP in their government had it without water. But as soon as the PNC, APNU, Ramjatan took power, Ramjatan, along it is said also, encouraged just to create pressure on the people, suggested, it is alleged, that they charge VAT on water, and VAT on electricity, and VAT on building materials and construction materials, basic food items and household necessities, which the previous APNU AFC government had burdened Guyanese. And the man from quarantine, Ramjatan, did nothing about it. He just went along his merry way because he was fighting now. He wanted to overthrow Nagamutu and had elections so that he would be the PM, the prime ministerial candidate. So he will have sirens and those kinds of nice and the high life and the PM house. This is what I am telling you about. No coherence in thinking, in strategy, in policy. They go on weekly basis to the press conferences and they wing it. The PPP General Secretary said they wing it, my emphasis, while referencing 2 new articles which showed the change in tune by the opposition. So he used 2 articles to show that the opposition really is nothing. Friends and families, brothers and sisters, your brother me, Haji, Dr. Roshan can, in the raw, saying thank you, farewell, French.